An interval measures the distance between two notes. Intervals are based on key signatures, so make sure you have a thorough understanding of key signatures before you begin this section. If you need to review, watch my key signature videos, or you can practice the key signature game inside Music Theory Pro. There are two parts to every interval. There's a number and a quality. And we're going to deal with the number part of this first. The number measures the distance between two notes. So in order to find that number, count the distance and make sure you count the bottom note as 1. So if the lowest note is C, count C as 1. And then we continue counting upward. D is 2. So if this is our interval C and D, we will call that interval a second. And this continues upward, so C to E is a third, C to F is a fourth, and C to G is a fifth. It doesn't matter if we add any sharps or flats in front of either of these notes. C to G will always be a fifth. Let's do another example. This time we'll start with D as the lowest note. D is 1 and E is 2. So D to E is a second. D to F is a third, D to G is a fourth, and D to A is a fifth. So we've talked about the number part of an interval. And by the way, you can practice just this part inside Music Theory Pro. But for now, we're going to go on and talk about the quality of an interval. Quality refers to terms like major, minor, perfect, augmented, and diminished. Now, the deciding factor regarding quality of an interval is the key signature of the lowest note. Let me say that once more. The key signature of the lowest note determines the quality of an interval. So for an example, we'll use the key of C, no sharps or flats, as the lowest note in this set of intervals. So as long as the upper notes stay in that key of C, all of these intervals will be called either major or perfect. We call seconds, thirds, sixths, and sevenths major. And we call unisons, fourths, fifths, and octaves perfect. So this first interval must be a perfect unison. The second and the third are both from the major column. The fourth and fifth are both going to be perfect. The sixth and seventh are both major, and the octave is perfect. If we move that lowest note up to D, we're going to have to use the key signature of D in order to keep all of these intervals either major or perfect. The key signature of D has two sharps, F sharp and C sharp. So here are the major and perfect intervals above D. We have a perfect unison, then a major second, and now for the major third, we're going to have to take into account that F sharp in the key signature. So here's our major third, our perfect fourth, perfect fifth, major sixth, and then for the major seventh, we'll have to take into account the C sharp, and then perfect octave. You can practice these inside Music Theory Pro and practice them in a variety of keys, play them on your instrument, and make sure you drill these enough so they become automatic.